Hey everyone, it's Kelsey, aka Real with Mrs. B, and this is
Mr. B.
And we are here today to do a tag. This was started by Miser Janelle, and I was tagged by Signify This, so I will leave both of those channels below, and we're going to get started right away. This is the Will Debt Do Us Part tag. So, question number one is, do you have debt? If so, how much? Yes, we have debt.
Yeah.
And we looked it up, and we just have student loans now, and we are at
About 50,886.
So we are going to be under 50,000 by the end of the year, which is pretty exciting. So you want to read number two?
Yeah. Number 2 is, do you budget? Give yourself a grade A through F, how you do on an average with that budget.
So we definitely budget. And how do you think you do with the budget?
I think, not very good when it comes to being hands-on. I'm semi-aware, so how about a C minus?
For yourself?
Yes.
What grade would you give me?
Oh, an A.
An A.
She's always on it. It's just up to date, very detailed, and I think easy to understand for her viewers.
All right. Well, thank you. So overall, though, I think that we do stick to budget. Obviously, in November, we went over with Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets, but we still put what we wanted to put towards that. So overall, I do think that we deserve an A for our budgeting efforts. So number three, how do you pay your bills? You want to answer?
Pretty much electronically.
Everything's electronic. It's just easier for us to pay electronically, and then they're usually like automatically drafted out of our account. So if we for some reason forgot to pay a bill, then it would just be taken out and we don't have to worry about it. So number four,
how much do you think your monthly household costs are?
this is a good question for you. So it's asking for how much our rent is, and then renter's insurance, utilities, and groceries per month.
Yeah, this is where my ignorance kind of shines. I could give estimates. I'll do quick ones. I think rent is around about $910. Renter's insurance maybe about $17 a month. Utilities, electricity could be about 40, except it could go higher, like 60 in the wintertime.
Summertime.
Thank you. Summertime air conditioner.
Yes.
And then for groceries, it can vary. I think she spends it can be like $60 to $80 a week, but I think that's pretty good.
All right, you were pretty close. Our rent is $932 a month because we have to pay $20 for the extra parking spot. Renter's insurance, yeah, it's probably about $17 a month. I haven't done the quite math, but we pay 6 months at a time. And utilities, you're absolutely right. Right now it's about $40 because we have heat included in our rent. And then water is also included in our rent, so we don't have to pay for that. And then groceries, we try to stay around $60 a week, so it ends up being, about $240 a month. I try to stay under $250, except right now with the holidays, it's a little bit more. So number five, what do you spend the most not labeled money on? Clothes, food, pets, cars, movies, babies, or music? Well, we don't have any babies, so that would be really weird. What about you? Not labeled money on? I feel like everything that we have is labeled.
Yeah.
Like, it goes into a category. So
maybe food sometimes, because I would say with your dog walking job, you have a little extra cash. It's sometimes just small food purchases.
That's true. We don't put my dog walking money into the budget. To me, I feel like that's just kind of like free spending money. So we sometimes get some grocery items or eat out with that money. And if I didn't have that money coming in, we would obviously have to adjust our eating out accordingly. So, number six.
Number 6 says, what is my biggest pet peeve when it comes to money?
So, I'm going to play a little newlywed game aspect, and I'm going to guess. And I'm going to say his biggest pet peeve is me really putting a limit on your categories of what you can and can't spend because we don't have enough money.
Yeah, that's honestly a really good answer. I was going to use like the cliched never enough money, but to be more realistic, her answer is actually perfect. It's there's a little bit, it is not fun to have a restriction, but at the same time I do understand it and I just battle her a little bit, but in the most part, she's usually right.
Thanks. So the next question is, what is, yours? So my biggest pet peeve when it comes to money.
I feel like that's kind of tough, but I feel maybe with her it's the same thing when it comes to, because I feel like there's a lot of things that she likes to buy or just like Amazon especially, and it may just be tough to be like, I really want that gift, but it's not in the budget.
I would have to say I agree. However, I think my biggest pet peeve is when you spend something that I say not to spend on.
Yeah.
I think you could agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 8, you want to say?
What is the most you'd be willing to spend on? And then there are 3 categories: A car, B, a couch, and C, shoes.
So I wonder if it's asking like which one of those would you spend the most money on, or how much would you spend on each one?
I was thinking on each.
All right. Well, I think we could all agree that a car would be the most that we would probably spend on. And right now, we wouldn't spend more than we put aside for a car. So we're hoping that your 99 Corolla will last still quite a while. We have 1,200 put aside, and maybe we could get a cash-in value for that. So, and then we have some of an emergency fund. So right now, we couldn't afford to do more than like $3,000.
Yep. If you know her, we're adamantly against getting a car loan. So pretty much whatever we have set aside, as she said, how much is what we would spend on a car.
And a couch. So our couch that we had before our apartment fire came from my parents. It was an old couch that was super comfortable. We got rid of it with the fire. And the couch that we have now is from his sister, and both were free. So a couch is something I'd love to get once we're out of debt. If we, for some reason, had to get a new couch, I don't know, maybe like $100.
Yeah, we would search cheap, like even places like Craigslist or where you would find something. We wouldn't go to a store and get a full price couch.
One day, I want a sectional couch.
Yes, when we have the money, though.
And shoes. I'm not one of those like girly girls that have like a ton of shoes. You may think I have a lot of shoes, but not compared to stuff. I really don't have that much. I would never spend over $50 on a pair of shoes, and that's like if I needed it, like new, really good, like tennis shoes, like you've gotten before.
Yeah.
50 would be pretty much the limit.
Yeah, I was thinking 60 is the upper limit, but I do a pretty good job. Tried around, 40 to 50, like she said. I think there's a difference between like just regular tennis shoes, which I tend to wear, or workout shoes, like running shoes can be near the 60. But people spend way too much money, up to 100 or more. Just don't need it, especially neither of our job need like good work shoes, like boots, or so we stay pretty low on shoes.
Yeah. So number 9 is my debt your debt.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to hesitate. It's just we are completely tied financially.
Yeah, and I think that was probably maybe the hardest thing because I had so much student loan debt and you really didn't have any. So when we first started this journey, I had to come out to him and say, this is how much debt I have, and you married me, and it's kind of yours. And yeah, it sucks that like you are paying for my mistake of taking out student loans, but we're in this together, right?
Basically, what she said, we are tied. So even though she had a lot of debt and I had to kind of accept it, that's what marriage is. That's kind of, I'm in it with her, so it's our debt.
So would you bail me out? That's the second part to number 9.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing about being in it is that you're supporting them financially if they need it.
Will I bail you out?
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Yes, of course. All right, you want to read number 10?
How will we or do we split household costs?
I don't know how to take this one because I would say like originally we did split household costs when we had separate financials, which we did for almost 3 years into our marriage.
It's coming up.
Which is coming up in the next question. But what do you think the question means exactly?
Basically, I mean, I think it's straightforward. On household costs, do we split, like when we purchase things? Well, since we have a shared account, we use the same account on our purchases, so it's completely shared on one account.
I guess if you're thinking of how we split it into our budget, I mean, we have a household fund versus like our groceries and our electric bill and so forth, just because then we know exactly how much we're spending in each one of those categories and it doesn't get all lumped into one and we're not really sure where the money is going. So, number 11.
Joint bank account or separate?
So now we have a joint bank account, and it wasn't until June of this year, actually, that we finally combined our finances. A big reason for that, I think, was because the student loans I felt like were like my problem, really, and we had been together for 5 years before getting married, and we just were so used to having everything separate. So I will link that video below, though, about us talking about having a joint bank accounts. So number 12, who pays for the wedding? And should you finance the ring? Well, our wedding, we pretty much paid for everything. We had small things like my mom paid for the cake, or my dad helped out with the honeymoon, those sorts of things, but we didn't expect money from anyone, and we paid for it on our own. And financing the ring, when we didn't know about Dave Ramsey, and we did finance the ring and pay for it. And if we were to do it all over again, we wouldn't finance the ring. We could save up the money for it. And you should do the same with a wedding.
Yeah.
So, number 13?
If necessary, can family stay with us bill-free? And how long is too long?
I would say yes, family can stay with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then how long is too long?
It's, I feel like it's very situational.
Yeah.
Months seems to be like a few, anything more. You want to like figure out like what's your plan, where you're going.
Yeah, if they're like trying, like say they lost their job or they're going through a divorce or something like that, we would obviously let them stay and help them out. But then there's got to be a point that they've got to be like trying to maybe get a job or trying to move forward, trying to look for a place, those types of things. And it definitely, after a while, it would cost us a lot. So I guess it'd be nice if they, helped out around the house with like cleaning or things like that. So
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be like, all right, you're charged this amount to live with us. That doesn't seem really loving. As she said, just chip in with the things, helping out, groceries, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, number 14. Out of all the people you know personally, who manages their money the best? I'd have to agree. Of all the people I know, of our age group, we're the only people that I know actually have a budget and are like working really hard to get out of debt. So, not to be like selfish, but I think
absolutely.
That's just me.
I would say, as she was saying, most people are like, I honestly, I couldn't say anyone. They like to spend, they don't save too much, and then they get in trouble when like an emergency arises.
Number 15.
Out of all the people you know personally, who manages their money the worst?
I think we both know, but
it's hard to say.
I don't know if we should say.
I will say it happens to probably be my sister, and it's just with it's the not saving, it's the spending, and it's not just like spending, but it's on name brand when you could get generic or even unnecessary. If someone has a certain amount of items like clothes, you don't need to get them more and more. And there's just a lot to it, but I think you guys understand.
Yeah, it's a long story, but we love our niece and my goddaughter so much, but there's only a certain amount of things that you really need for a child, and then what is excessive. So that's one of the big reasons why we don't have kids right now, because we understand we're in debt and it's a serious issue, and we want to knock out that debt before having kids so we don't have to worry about that later on.
Absolutely.
So, last question. What's something you regret buying?
I'll start out. Mine's pretty easy. Sometime around high school, I bought an HD DVD player.
You probably never heard of it. We actually still have a couple because I don't know what to do with them besides throw them out, but I feel bad just throwing them out.
Yeah, so because that did not pan out, that ended up being completely worthless.
Luckily, you only bought a few, not like a ton of the DVDs.
Yeah, but when technology comes out, it's expensive, and I thought, I just wanted it. But of course, I was in high school, paid for it out of my job, but hey, that's my biggest regret.
I would have to say, if we're going big, it would be my student loans. It's not like something that like technically I bought. I guess I bought my education, but I didn't need to do as much as I did, or I could have saved for it. But if we're going on the smaller end, recently getting the Kindle, I just
Yeah.
don't use them as much as I thought I would. Maybe I will more like when the forensic season starts, and I'll bring it with me. But I didn't need to spend the money to get that, and I probably shouldn't have. So that pretty much concludes all of the questions. I have no idea who has been tagged yet, so if you are watching this, you're tagged. So do this video. It's a really fun conversation. I've seen different variations of it with like mother-daughter relationships or best friends. So anyone can participate, and I would love to hear your answers. So leave them below if you do end up doing this tag. And thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And I will catch you guys soon in my next video. Bye.